Hello everyone, this is Brian with ZimCo Survival, and today I decided to do a video for you guys on the top 10 items that I would bring in a bug out bag. If I could only bring 10 specific items, which 10 would I bring that I find to be the most important? And I've been meaning to do this video for quite some time, but had a really hard time picking out exactly which things I would bring. Because of course, as anyone knows, bug out bags can become ludicrously large and ludicrously heavy. Some people's bags weigh 100 pounds because they're trying to bring everything with them. So I decided to go a little bit different and do a video showing just 10 items that I would bring. Not 10 kits, but 10 items. And this particular kit weighs about 5.5 pounds, 5.3 pounds for all 10 items. And I would feel comfortable bugging out with just this kit. In my ability to actually make it through and be able to sustain myself from it. So let me go ahead and get into the video. This particular video, I'm going to show you the item and why I specifically chose this particular item, so that if you guys want to copy it, you'll be able to do it. So let's go ahead and get started with my absolute first pick, and that is the Snugpak Jungle Bag. I chose this item because in my location and the areas that I would be bugging out to, it is a good 3-season bag. It's good down to 35 degrees. I have tested it myself all the way down into the 20s. And while it does get cold down to that temperature, I'm not shivering. So I do know that this bag is perfectly suited for my area. It is small, it is light, it weighs 1.6 pounds. It is incredibly small, as you can see. Packs down really nicely. It can be opened into a blanket, and it can be used like a, I don't know how, almost like a whoopee. You can unzip it from the bottom, leaving the top zipped up with the hood, and put it on underneath your poncho, and use it much like a poncho liner. So it works in a number of different scenarios for me, and it includes a bug net on the face. So in my opinion, it is a great overall kind of sleeping bag for a small, light bug out bag. Item number 2 is this little gem, and it is the Snugpak Patrol Poncho. Now you guys might see a theme with what I'm picking as I go through the rest of the items, but I decided to focus primarily on shelter because I am comfortable in my ability to fish and to collect food and gather food. But one of the hardest things to replicate without modern technology is rapid shelter, especially waterproof shelters. So I decided to go with things that were going to keep me warm and keep me out of the elements for a good portion of my bag, these 10 items. This particular item right here is specifically designed to fit over a backpack and keep you dry. It is made out of ripstop nylon, same material they make their tarps out of. It is completely waterproof with taped seams. I have not done a review of this item yet, but I will be soon. I have used this in some pretty bad storms, including the most recent hurricane and the one prior to it that hit South Carolina as tropical storms. So I do know that it does work in some pretty harsh environments as far as, you know, rain, winds go. And I am really confident in its capabilities. This particular item is fairly light, weighs barely anything, and covers you very well. If you want to know more about it, go ahead and subscribe and make sure that you take a look at the review when it comes up. So that's item number 2. Item number 3 is this right here. Now I've already done a review on it. Some of you guys may know what that is. That is a Snugpak all-weather shelter. I really love this tarp. It weighs 2.2 pounds, but that includes the cordage and the stakes and things like that. Now for the purpose of this, I have taken that out. So this particular item weighs 1.5 pounds, I believe it was, 1.6, 1.5. Fantastic tarp. is very, very good. I've used it in high winds. I haven't had any problems with it. And in a bug out situation where you only have 10 items, being able to have a ready-made shelter with you as part of those is very, very nice. Will protect you from the sun, will protect you from the wind, protect you from rain, in general protect you from the elements. So it makes your life 10 times easier because you don't have to worry about stopping at 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon to build a shelter, and one that isn't going to be entirely waterproof, because let's face it, building a completely waterproof shelter out of natural materials can be fairly difficult and very time consuming. So I decided to pick something that gave me a ready-made waterproof shelter that I can put up in less than half an hour. Normally about 10 minutes if I really want to. Potentially even less if, you know, things are in my favor and I'm not hunting down proper tying points. But I decided to go with a tarp as my third item for that reason, because I wanted a nice ready-made shelter to make life a lot easier when I was bugging out. The next item that I put in my bag is this. This is a Shemagh. Most of you guys already know what it is and why I would put that in my kit. That particular item can be used for so many different things, it's kind of ridiculous. It's a sling, it's a tourniquet, it protects you from sun to keep you from getting sunburned. It's just a fantastic overall item. Great, there's like 101 uses for this thing. If you can think about it, a Shemagh can do it. I chose this one right here, which is the jumbo version. It's twice the size of a standard Shemagh, so that you can use it as a sun shelter or be able to wrap yourself in it completely on really hot days to prevent yourself from getting sunburned. So it's just in general a fantastic item to have, and I do recommend, if you can find a jumbo version, to go ahead and pick that up. I've used that myself quite a bit over the course of this summer, and it's really, really good. I like that one. So that is item number 4. Item number 5. This is the only kit item that I decided to bring. And the reason I did that is because I wanted a filter, since I'm not bringing a pot, I needed a filter that did not require boiling and did not require any chemical treatments after filtration. Most filters go down to 0.2 microns, which does not remove crypto or other types of viruses. It also doesn't remove some bacteria. This particular filter, this is the Survival Filter Pro. It goes down to 0.01 microns, which is small enough to remove viruses, bacteria, pretty much everything out of the water. So I went with that one because of that reason. It allowed me to remove the boiling and the chemical water treatments from my kit and still have perfectly drinkable water. And I have been using that now for over a year in some really nasty water, and I have not gotten sick from it at all. The water that I pull out of pretty much anywhere that I pull it out of with that filter always tastes like tap water to me. So I've never had a problem with it. I highly recommend it. Again, it's the Survival Filter Pro, and the only kit item I actually brought in that includes more than one piece. So that's number 5. Let's go ahead and move these over a little bit here. Number 6. You guys are going to know what this is right off the bat. That is paracord. I shouldn't have to give you guys a reason why paracord is so important. So instead, I'm going to tell you what it is, what that type of paracord is, and why I chose it. That is Titan Survivor cord. I chose it because it has Titan is a fantastic company when it comes to the quality of their paracords. It is a triple strand internal, the internal core strands are triple. So instead of only getting 14 strands, you get the full 21. But it also includes wax jute, a snare wire, and a fishing line. So as far as a do-it-all paracord, I could bring just one hank of paracord and have a number of things covered. And that's why I decided to bring the Titan paracord. It's fairly expensive at about $24 a hank, but it's worth it in my opinion, especially if you're going with a ultralight style bug out bag like I have here, where you're only bringing 10 things. So there's the paracord. That was item number 6. Item number 7. This I debated on for a very long time. Which knife was I going to bring? Because I could only bring one. Normally I would have 3. I'd have that. I would have a more Can's ball or a more bushcraft, and a more Elders. And I haven't done a review on the Can's ball or the Elders yet, but that's coming up. So when I go out, I normally have 3 knives on me. The large knife, then I have a medium-sized knife, which tends to be the Can's ball, and a small neck knife, which is the Elders. But for the purpose of this video, I could only bring 1. So which one was I going to bring? And I decided to go with the Bk7 due to its versatility. The Bk7 is one of those knives where it's a workhorse knife. It's good for a lot of things. The knife, I've been able to feather stick with it. I've been able to clean a fish with it. I've been able to baton with it. I've been able to carve with it. There's so much you can do with that knife. It's a jack of all trades, master of none. The knife is really good at a number of tasks. It can do pretty much everything you're going to need it to do in a bug out situation. It has the right length, it has the right blade thickness, it has the right weight to it, but it's a master of none. It's not going to be the perfect knife for cleaning game. It's not the perfect knife for making a feather stick. It's not the perfect knife for batoning wood. It's not the perfect chopping knife, but it can do all of those things. So in my opinion, if you can only bring 1 knife, that's the knife that I would bring. Because it does give you the ability to do all of the tasks that you need to do. You're not going to be able to chop with a more Can's ball. You're not going to be able to do any of that with, the smaller knives. But at the same time, the BK9 or larger knives are just too large to do the small tasks. So in my opinion, the Bk7 falls right into the sweet spot of a 1 knife solution. To the best ability of one knife solution can be. We all know that you should carry more than 1 knife. There is no knife, no matter how good the knife maker is, that's going to be able to do everything perfectly. But like I said, I chose that because it's a jack of all trades, but it's a master of none. So that is my 7th item, and that's why I chose this particular knife. Now, moving down the list. Item number 8 is a flashlight. Now this particular flashlight, this is the Thorfire, but it comes in a number of different versions from different manufacturers online. This particular flashlight I really like. I have a lot of experience with it because it does have solar that does work. This particular solar does work, and it is also hand crank. It doesn't have a battery, so you don't have to worry about anything corroding on you inside the flashlight over time. So all in all, it works extremely well, and I've used it myself quite a lot. 1 minute of cranking gives you an hour's worth of light, and in my opinion, based on, like I said, how I've used it during power outages and things, that's pretty accurate. 50 minutes to an hour for a minute of cranking. It's very bright, it works very well. And in my opinion, a flashlight is something you should have in a bug out situation. I know a lot of people say, well, I'll make a torch and, etc., etc. But having a flashlight like this is just going to make your life so much easier if you end up having to be, moving around at night, which is very possible in a bug out situation, trying to hide from people, trying to escape and evade bad situations. You're not going to do that during the day, you're going to do it at night. And this gives you the ability to move around at night, assuming you can actually use a flashlight, so and not get caught. So it gives you some options, and flashlights, in my opinion, are always good as a safety item and just as a convenience item. So that is my next item. Now, I have 2 more items in here for you. This one is a medical item. I decided I needed to have something in there to handle just minor injuries, just in case. And this is what I chose for that. I don't know if you guys can see it very well because it's not focused. It is New Skin Liquid Bandage. Now this is what I use around my house. all the time. I get cut a lot. And this is what I use to fix it. This is a triple use item. It is an antiseptic. It helps to seal the wound much like super glue, although it's not as strong as super glue. So it's not going to like permanently seal it, but it will help keep it closed without stitches. And it's a liquid proof bandage, a waterproof bandage. For me, it will last about 3 days. And after 3 days, when it finally decides to conk out on me, the wound is already closed up enough that I don't have to worry about it. So this is what I bring. This particular bottle is going to have 300 bandages worth of liquid in it. So this is what I personally really recommend as a medical item in your 10-piece kit. So this is number 9. And the 10th item I brought was another thing that I had a lot of questions about. What type of fire starting tool would I bring that would give me the best chances of having a fire? And instead of a ferro rod and instead of a lighter, I chose a mag bar, specifically the Friendly Swede Mag Bar. This is by far the best quality mag bar that I have ever owned, and I've used a lot of different mag bars, and this one works the absolute best of all of them. And I chose a mag bar because in my experience, this thing will light a fire pretty much anywhere, anytime, regardless of the conditions. It can be drizzling outside and you can get fairly damp tinder started with one of these. Where a ferro rod, if it's damp like that, you're going to have a really hard time starting a fire. So in my opinion, mag bar gives you the most consistent fire in a larger range of different conditions over, say, a Bic lighter or a ferro rod. So that's what I chose as my fire starting method and my 10th item. Now you can always switch this out with different fire starting methods that you're more comfortable with, but for me, like I said, weighing the pros and cons of all of the different types of fire starting methods, this is the one that I decided was going to be the most successful. So I'd recommend getting a Friendly Swede Mag Bar because, like I said, this is the best that I have ever purchased, and I've used all the different brands from the military to the Colgans to the off-name Chinese ones, and this one has always worked the best, most consistently, easiest to scrape, just by far the best rod that I've used. I haven't done a review on it yet. I will soon enough, but as you can see, I do bring it out with me camping quite a bit, and you know, it still has plenty of magnesium left. I pretty much use this every time I go camping now instead of a ferro rod, because I really like it that much. But there you have it, the 10 items that I chose to bring with me in a bug out bag, and the reasons that I chose to bring them out. Now optimally, I would say if you're going for an ultralight bug out bag, I'd say about 10 pounds is going to be more realistic than 5. As there are some things that I would like to bring above and beyond this, but again, I'm doing the 10 items that I would bring. So in my opinion, if you really want to keep it absolutely ultralight and still have a complete enough kit to be able to survive confidently, this is what I would bring. This is the kit that I decided to bring in that kind of a situation. But again, if you're willing to carry the extra 5 pounds and make it a 10-pound bag, then there are a bunch of other items that are small that I would still bring, just to make life a little bit easier when you're out in the woods. But there you have it. That's my review, or my top 10s list. As always, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. And thank you guys so much, and have a great night. Bye-bye.